In this unit on 2 pillars, there's some really neat lessons about living your Christian life intentionally. You know, you've got to navigate between the markers in order to stay on the path. Jesus said, narrow is the path that leads to life. You've got to navigate that path with intentionality and wisdom, not going too far one way and too far the other way. And we've been talking about specific issues of going between Rocine and Boaz, balance, and maintaining an athletic stance. You know, an athletic stance is a stance on both legs. If you're playing a sport, you don't want to start, receiving a volleyball standing on one leg. You're going to have to get your balance and spring into the action. You don't want to put too much weight on one foot and not the other. You want to be balanced. Boaz and Rocine, move forward and be productive and have a good stance, a good Christian stance. And let me talk to you about one particular issue, but it started raining out, so I'm going to go inside and finish this video inside. So it's a little noisy in the house, so I decided to finish my home fellowship video in the garage today. I hope you don't mind. Anyway, I'm on the workbench here, and that's because the Lord is working on me. I'm on the workbench. I want to share with you an important passage about balance, or a passage that might make you think about the challenge of maintaining an athletic stance in the Lord, a balanced stance. This comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 7, and you'll hear the word sorrow in it. And I want to ask you if you'd be willing to substitute the word guilt for the word sorrow. I mean, sorrow is the correct translation of the Greek word. Guilt would not be the right translation, but I think you'll see what I mean if you substitute the word guilt in there. 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 8 says, I caused you sorrow by my letter. Well, think of it as guilt. And then he says, I'm happy not because you were made sorry or guilty, but because your sorrow led you to repentance. For you became sorrowful as God intended, and so were not harmed in any way by us. Godly sorrow, can we substitute in guilt there? Godly sorrow brings repentance that leads to salvation and leaves no regret, but worldly sorrow brings death. See what this godly sorrow has produced in you, what earnestness, what eagerness to clear yourselves, what indignation, what alarm, what longing, what concern, what readiness to see justice done. At every point you proved yourselves to be innocent in this matter. Is there a good guilt? Think of Rocine and Boaz going through between the pillars in order to meet with God. Good guilt, bad guilt. Should we get rid of all guilt? Well, godly sorrow works some wonderful qualities in us. Good guilt, bad guilt. Navigate the road between the pillars. Navigate through a bad thing and a good thing in order to find the narrow way that leads to life. Talk about guilt tonight. Whether you even think a Christian should have it, but how to navigate through godly sorrow and devilish guilt and self-condemnation. Talk about that tonight at Home Fellowship. God bless.